Welcome everybody to another episode of HomeKit Insider. You've got me, Andrew O'Hara, and I wonder, what's in the Wonder Ball? It's Stephen Robles. How you doing, man?
I'm doing well. Good to have you back from your mysterious missions that you were doing. And you chose a good week to come back because, my goodness, all the things happened this week. Everything.
It seems so. Lots has happened this week.
Yes.
We have so much news sitting in here.
You have brought all the products back with you from wherever you from whence you came. Yeah, you have a stack. So we're gonna jump into it. 1 5-star review this past week, all the way from Australia, Titleiest78. I think that's how you say it. I really didn't want to pronounce that incorrectly. Thank you, Titleiest78, for all the way from Australia. All right, quick little news bits, because then we have some huge product announcements and reviews and releases and things making me mad because I just bought 18 Ecobees and now there's a brand new one out. But that's okay. That's okay. I know. I had to do it. And do you have it there? Are you gonna pull it out? Are you gonna tease it right here at the beginning of the episode? Oh my word! Can I see the edge real quick? Let me see the edge.
One of the two. This is the plastic one.
Oh, that's a plastic one.
This
okay,
is the enhanced. Yeah,
that's the enhanced. And then there's like the Premier Pro Max Plus
Premium.
version.
Yeah, the premium.
Yeah, okay.
That is
right.
mounted on a wall.
Oh, okay. We'll get to that one. Because that's nice. So, real quick, iOS 15.5 came out, well, it'll be almost 2 weeks ago as you hear this episode, but it came out with, a week ago, Home Hub update where your HomePods, you'll now get like Wi-Fi network performance where you can see that. I think we talked about it when the beta came out, but now...
At least the signal strength. When you go into the HomePod and you scroll all the way to the bottom, it'll have like your... I can't remember, like your MAC address or your network address. I got a home app open right here with an arm's reach to recordings. Let's see. Yeah, it says your Wi-Fi address, and if you tap it, it swaps to show your actual network and the signal strength. So,
yeah, I still haven't
that's
found
a nice addition.
I don't know if my HomePod's actually updated because HomePods, they do what they want. You tell it to update, and it's like, maybe.
Dude, I swear, mine's been waiting to, mine currently says downloading again. I mean, it's been on the beta, but I told it to update yesterday. Oh, no, it's trying to update to 15.6. That's why. So it was updated to 15.5.
Okay.
Now it's going to 15.6 beta. But yeah, it just, the Wi-Fi address at the bottom, you tap, the number, and it reveals, a hidden panel, basically, and shows little Wi-Fi bars.
Hidden panel. I like it. Okay, so that's out. Hidden. Enjoy that. We have some Sonos stuff that came out. We've talked about the Ray. That was officially launched last week. But now, rumored, this is not official yet, but a Sonos Sub Mini has leaked. So as you know, Sonos has their big sub, costs like $750. Hard to get right now. They're out of stock in a lot of places. But this Sub Mini would be to use those lower-end sound bars like maybe the Beam, maybe the Ray. That's going to be around $250. So Sub Mini should be coming soon, and it'll give you a less expensive option to get a individual sub for your audio setup. That's pretty cool.
I'm going to say I will get this for my Sonos Arc because I don't want to spend $800 on just a sub, but I want a bit better bass. Even a mini version is going to have better bass than what is in a soundbar, just space constraints going on. Plus, when you have the Sonos Arc especially, when you're able to put those lower frequencies into a dedicated device, it frees up more bandwidth for it to focus on the surround sound experience. So there's more reason to get a sub with the Arc, and you don't have to spend $800 just for the sub. So I still will get this probably for my Arc.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I actually set up my Arc finally with the TV in our main living room. I didn't get the subwoofer yet because I was like, let me see how the Arc does just by itself. And I could really notice, especially when playing music, that it is missing the low end. It's there, but it's not like having a sub. And so I'm going to be looking.
It's definitely not the same. It still sounds really, really good, but it focuses, I think, mostly on that 3D audio aspect and everything.
Yes.
Why would they put as much into the bass when you can buy the dedicated sub?
Right. Exactly. And then it's an upsell, an $800 upsell. So now I just sent you a picture,
hopefully
Andrew.
now there's a not $800 upsell.
Right.
There's another option.
I just sent you a picture of our living room TV with the Arc mounted. I just want to get your raw reactions as you see this picture.
Okay.
You see it? You got that?
I'm looking at it. I do see it.
It is dwarfed by the size of that TV. I'll just say that. The mount, though, that Sanus mount that you can get from Sonos, which actually the Sanus mount attaches to the TV, and then you put your wall mount on top of that. So it's kind of like this mount sandwich on the back of your TV. It works pretty well. So the Sonos Arc is just hanging under the TV, and the only thing on the wall is the TV bracket, and then everything holds from there. So it's pretty nice.
Okay.
Like yeah.
Nice.
Okay, the Aqara D100 lock with HomeKey, we talked about it last week, but it is official. It released in a bunch of countries, not the United States. It's in Singapore, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates.
It's a Mortise style, to make that clear. Like, that's why it's not in the United States. And it's a Mortise style lock, which is not common in the U.S.
Right. So, probably not. But then they also announced another lock. This is now the S100, another variant of this HomeKey-enabled lock. Not sure where this is going to be released, but this is now the third HomeKey lock that Akara has released and or announced. And I'm just like, bring one to the States. That's all I'm saying. Just bring one to America. That's all. That's all I want. So, yeah. Anyway, that's Akara. They've been doing that. All right, we're jamming through this because we got to get to these product reviews. All right, there's a LifeSmart presence sensor. We've talked about like occupancy sensors or presence sensors before. Uses mmWave frequencies to tell if a person's in the room. Well, LifeSmart, which is actually a HomeKit brand, maybe one that we haven't spoken about a lot on this show, they actually have a presence sensor coming out, and it's not available just yet to buy, but it works with Zigbee 3 and will have that kind of occupancy stuff, which I think that new Ecobee has too. With that doesn't it have like presence sensor?
They've always had like the occupancy and the motion sensors built in. The new Ecobees have upgraded to a new radar system instead of the PIR sensor, which is definitely more improved. It can be hidden behind the glass, so you don't have a little sensor bubble kind of in the lower left-hand corner. And it's also able to work like, because it's using like these radio waves or radar waves, it's able to kind of like detect motion and occupancy like around corners and stuff, which is pretty handy.
Okay. Sorry, I just keep wanting to talk about the Ecobee. We'll get there, I know. So that's the LifeSmart presence sensor. Also, Eve Cam, this is a big one, so we're going to sit here for a second. The Eve Cam is now available to purchase. It's the $250 outdoor floodlight HomeKit secure video camera. It is competing with the Netatmo floodlight camera that is also HomeKit secure video. But before I throw to Andrew for the big product review, there was an update actually to the Eve app also. It supports this Eve Cam, which was one of the big updates. But there's also improvements with Eve Aqua, Thread Network View. There's some performance and reliability improvements. And Eve Motion Blinds has an improved setup experience. And I'm excited for that because I'm actually going to be setting up my Eve Motion Blinds in the next couple of days because we're moving into our new house, Andrew, like this weekend. The next time we record, this in the background will be a new studio setup, so I'm excited for that. And I'm going to have some motion blinds in there. But Eve Cam is now available to purchase, $250. Should I buy one of these things, Andrew? What you think?
Should you buy the Eve Cam? Well,
yeah.
Let's see what I got right here, Steven.
I'm waiting for the big reveal. Oh,
here it is.
There it is.
Oh,
audio listeners, jump over to youtube.com/HomeKit Insider. There it is. It's nice.
This is the fella. This is right here.
That's it.
And let's see if I can... What were you saying?
Andrew precariously reaching for his second device here. I'm not sure what's happening. What's going on? Oh, you're going to turn on the floodlight? I'm switching
to... Yeah, I was going to try to turn on the floodlight. Like one-handed here.
Something might be happening.
Get it from my phone.
I cut out all
there it is.
Oh, there's the floodlight. All right. Very nice.
Yes, that's floodlight at 50% or so. And the update did add enhanced brightness, like higher brightness for this guy. Which is good. Okay. It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad before, but it definitely has like a higher boost level now with that 5.5 update of the Eve app. So, yeah, far really easy. Obviously, I don't have it outside yet. It's been raining for the last several days, so no installation has happened. But, yeah, I mean, it looks really nice. It looks really easy to install based on walking through the setup instructions and everything. It's got a metal body, nice, you can see the light there on the front. Wide camera, everything looks really solid. So far, just testing like in my studio does a good job of detecting motion, but I'm going to definitely have this in a weird spot, and I'm interested to see how well it does detecting motion, because it's not going to be super close. Like, I'm going to have this mounted on like a second-story deck facing to the yard, I think. So it's going to be a question of, is that going to be able to detect motion when it's got that distance in between? So I will keep you posted on that and how it does compared to like the existing one I have now for one floodlight cam on that level is the not the Eve, but the Arlo floodlight cam. Yeah, so I'm going to be comparing those two kind of and see how they do, because we're kind of relying here on Apple's motion detection, because it's all like captured on the camera, then processed locally on your home hubs. Sometimes it's a little hit or miss, and I'm really hoping to see some improvements to that camera recognition with iOS 16 here. But yeah, I'm excited for this. It looks like a really good option, decent price and everything. So far, I'm happy with it. If you want to know some of the specifics of the control, so yes, you can turn the floodlight cam on and off by itself. Sure, you can use Siri to turn the floodlight light on and off. You can control the brightness there. You can see the motion. It does have a little motion chart, which is kind of neat. Inside of the Eve app, you can actually see all the motion triggers over time. And you can see activate when it detects motion, and yeah, detect motion. So it's fairly quick in detecting that motion. If we look at settings for this, there are these types. Like, you can choose what it's used for. And when you choose that, you can have like a generic floodlight, outdoors, backyard, balcony, entrance, garage, porch, or winter garden. Those are your specific options in what it can be used for. And they claim to be kind of presets so that you can, I don't know what it like is changing, if it's changing like the sensitivity and stuff, because you can adjust the sensitivity, duration, and stuff like that. Maybe. So I'll have to play around a little bit more with that, but you can adjust that duration. And for the motion light, you have 3 different options for it. So you can have it just never turn on, just turn off the automatic light. You can turn on the automatic light, or you can have it only turn on the auto light at night, which is right now what I have it set at. So only when the brightness level drops down will this go ahead and trigger. Gotcha. So those are your options for turning on the automatic light. Yeah, you got any questions about it, Steven?
Yeah, so obviously I'm thinking the Netatmo, which Netatmo actually has 2 different models for their outdoor floodlight. They have one without a siren and one with a siren. Now, I'm assuming this Eve one does not have any kind of siren built in, correct?
I don't think there's a siren, but there is at least 2-way communication, so you can scold
yell at somebody.
Any ne'er-do-well.
Get off my lawn! Yeah.
I don't think the old-timey voice is going to be intimidating, though.
They probably don't have a HomeKit outdoor HomeKit secure video camera either. No judgment. Maybe they do. Maybe they're decked out. But anyway, so there's talkback, no siren. Now, $50 difference between the Eve cam, which is $250, the Netatmo is $300. As far as you can tell, is there really any difference in functionality between the non-siren Netatmo and the Eve cam? It feels like they're pretty much exact same feature set.
I'd say they're pretty much the same. I'm wondering, because I've not played with that one, but Netatmo has really good recognition with its stuff. Okay. When it's processing like locally, like the doorbell and everything, it does a really good job about it. And I think it's better than what Apple's doing on its home hubs. So there's that part to it, but I don't know if you're working with solely HomeKit Secure Video and it's processing directly in your home hub anyway. They seem like they're going to be really similar. So the difference would come down to sensors and which one just has a better sensor. Like, they're both going to be 1080p video for HomeKit Secure Video, but they can have just better sensors, different field of view, stuff like that. But otherwise, their feature sets are going to be really, really similar.
Okay. And at my new house, we got floodlight motion floods, but they are undermounted to the soffit of the house. Is there any way to undermount the Eve outdoor camera? So it's like upside down, basically?
So I don't have the mount sitting here with me, but basically we have on the back this guy, this arm. So you can loosen it, and there's like a degree of rotation like that. So I don't see why you couldn't you'd have it'd be almost like straight down. And there's some degree of tilting to it this way as well. But you could mount it there. I don't see why you couldn't mount that to the top. But there's not a ton of rotation to this part here. You can see it's kind of locked in at that angle, which looks like, 30 degrees, and then straight.
Right. So it doesn't go.
So if
down.
you mount it, it would go pretty much straight down. I don't know how you can get it to mount completely up there.
Okay.
Maybe if you could turn it upside down. If you could do
what
this.
I'm saying. Right.
Eve, if you're listening, add a spot to flip the camera.
Yes.
Right?
Oh, right.
That's what you need to flip the camera feed. Yeah. Right. And to be fair, they did add this with the original Eve Cam. That wasn't a feature they had at the beginning. And then post-launch, they added a feature to invert the orientation. So they could do it with this new Eve Cam.
Okay. Yeah, I would be an insta-buy. Now, I'm looking at it on Amazon. You can go to the eve.com or evehome.com store, but it just kicks you over to Amazon. Delivers like June 6th through 22nd. So does that mean this thing is a little ways out?
Apparently. I mean, I thought they were like basically shipping right away, but they could have sold out of their initial stock already and pushed it a few weeks. I mean, I guess it's not that far away considering we're, halfway through May here, but...
Yeah. Well, this thing looks awesome. I'm excited to maybe try it. Eve, if you're listening, I'd love to try one on my new house. I'll, do some photos, cover, anyway. So I'd like that. But it looks really cool. We'll put the link to Andrew's review and plus the Amazon link. And the Netatmo one, if you're interested in looking at it. The Netatmo one is like taller. And I'm curious of, I know you don't have the Netatmo one, but do like a brightness comparison side by side. But, I mean, usually floodlights, they're plenty bright. But anyway.
Hopefully.
I will say I finally installed my Logitech Circleview doorbell camera, and it's the first time I've ever had a legit HomeKey doorbell, or a HomeKit doorbell, HomeKit Secure Video doorbell, and I really love it. It recognizes things like way far away, like car has been detected, and it's like a car driving down the road, which is great. But I actually, for the first time, experienced someone ringing the doorbell and the video popping up on the Apple TV, and you can see the live picture right there on the Apple TV. Because before I had hacked my Vivint security system doorbell into it, and it wasn't really the same. But man, really, it's really cool. Like, it's really cool to see your doorbell camera pop up on the Apple TV. HomePod's chime. I know this is all old news. Like, I know everybody probably does this, but it's the first time I experienced it, and it was really cool. And I just want to say that. That's all.
Nice.
Yeah.
I just 2 weeks ago installed a video doorbell for my grandma. She wanted a video doorbell because she couldn't see very well through her peephole, and my dad even had lowered the peephole in her door so that she could see it easier because she's a little shorty. And even then, she's like, "Well, at that point, I might as well just open the door." I was like, I guess. So she wanted a video doorbell so she could see who was there without having to go and check, and without say it's a burglar and she's just looking through the peephole or something.
Burglars
so
ringing
she don't
the
want
doorbell.
that either. Yes, for sure. They're going to ring the doorbell. It has motion, okay? It has motion detection.
I've come here to rob you,
but I
please.
installed. I picked up one of the Belkin Wemos for her and installed that. Worked really well. Everything seemed to go really smooth. Had to put an Apple TV in. I think I mentioned this before, but I needed a home hub for her, and I would have preferred to put in a HomePod Mini as the home hub. They're cheaper than your Apple TV alternative, and they do more stuff and they chime and all of that. Right. But she already has some Amazon speakers, and I don't want to confuse her with multiple voice assistants. She's going to have an extra HomePod that she would either never talk to that would just chime, or what. So I stuck an Apple TV under one of her TVs just to act as the home hub. Yeah. And sit under there. So
that works.
She texted me that night. She's like, "I can't wait for someone to ring my doorbell." And I'm like,
you got to go over there and visit, man. Just ring it randomly.
I'm like, order pizza or something.
Yeah, you can do that too. They might just drop it and leave, COVID considerations.
The first thing I did, though, for her especially, was I had her walk out and look at it, and when she did, it recognized her face.
Yes.
And I went in there and turned off notifications for her as a person. So that way when she goes up to her doorbell, it doesn't notify her, but then stranger danger, it does.
That's good. That's a good thing. Yeah, and that was the other thing. My middle son, he wanted to ring it constantly, and it was like, it looks like Asher is at the door. And I had forgotten about that feature too, and I was like, oh shoot. Yeah, it's using photos to like recognize people, and it like totally gets it. So it's really cool. Really cool. All right, we have to talk about the Ecobee stuff because that also launched. Andrew did a big review there. But before we do, we're going to thank our friends at Collide. Collide is this incredible service where it basically sends employees messages in Slack that helps them secure their devices, gives them tips on privacy, security on all their devices, Linux, Macs, Windows, all of that right inside Slack. And Collide is perfect for organizations that care deeply about compliance and security, but don't want to lock down employees' devices. You can use mobile management, but some companies, they really hammer those settings, and so employees feel like they don't have access to their devices to do their job. Well, Collide allows them to have that access, but then reminds them about, hey, don't do this, or here's a security thing, or watch out, that's malware, stuff like that. So you can go to collide.com/HomeKit to sign up today, KOLIDE.com/HomeKit. You enter your email. You do a free trial when you're prompted to do the free trial with your email, and you receive a free Collide gift bundle right after activation. Get some free Collide stuff just for fun. And so it's great for IT admins, people responsible for the Apple devices in the organization, or any devices, again, Windows, Linux. And you can do things like if someone saves their recovery codes for a login on their desktop, Collide will be like, hey, don't save your stuff there on your desktop because you need to put that in a secure place. And people probably might get to that. Or convince employees to uninstall evil browser extensions. If there's some malware, Collide will recognize that and say, hey, maybe you want to install that because it's doing funky things in the background. So Collide can do all of that for you. What do you think about that, Andrew? Yeah, I thought I'd describe that.
I love that it does all this within Slack. Like, so many people these days live in Slack as is. So they're taking those security messages, and instead of putting them into like an email inbox that's just going to get buried, like it puts them into the app that they're using to message and communicate with regularly throughout the day. So I love that. I think that's one of the best features that just fully integrated into Slack.
Yes. So Collide is killing it with this service. So those are some of the use cases. You can try Collide and all of its features on an unlimited number of devices for free for 14 days. Totally for free, 14 days. You don't even have to put in a credit card to do the free trial. Try it out at collide.com. That's KOLIDE.com/HomeKit. Collide.com/HomeKit. Get that free Collide gift bundle and free trial. Thanks to Collide for sponsoring this episode. And now for the main event. The Ecobee thermostats. These things look sick. There's 2 models out. Why don't you tell us, Andrew? What do they got? What did Ecobee do here?
Okay, so their lineup is they've
verbose?
expanded basically. Yeah. You have 3 options currently in the Ecobee lineup. You have the Lite that has no voice control, and I believe doesn't work with the sensors.
It does. It doesn't come with one. They work with the sensors, but it doesn't come with it.
Then there's the enhanced version, still no voice control. It works with sensors, does not include them, but it has this refreshed design with that all nice glass front. This is the enhanced version right here. It has the radar sensor. It has a 50% larger display measuring 540 by 540 pixels, up from like 360 by 450, something like that. So 50% larger display. New user interface, much easier to control, change, and see from a distance. And then the premium version, the one that I have currently installed, has a zinc metal body around the edges. Has the built-in speaker, which works with AirPlay, and it has the Siri voice control built in, and it has an integrated air quality monitor, so you can check on your air quality, your VOCs, and your carbon dioxide in your home. So those are your 3 options. The premium version also comes with one of the smart sensors in the box, one of these little smart sensors. that go around your home. Smart sensors are great with the Ecobee because these go in like the room that you're in, and it detects which room you're in and then adjusts your temperature to that room. So if I didn't have a smart sensor, I'm in the studio. Studio gets cold much quicker because we're lower, and it's trying to like cool down my house. It could make me very cold down here because it's trying to cool like the upstairs versus the downstairs. But if I'm down here, this is where I want it to be the right temperature. So I set it for 71. It'll cool it until my room that I'm in is at that temperature. So it can definitely help you save some money on your bills that way. Smart sensors have been around, but it's nice that they still include them in this high-end model. The minor downside is air quality monitor. You can see it right from the home screen of the new Ecobees, but they don't show in the home app yet. So, of course, there's Siri and AirPlay 2 that are in the home app. There is the temperature and the smart sensors, all that in the home app. But air quality is not exposed to HomeKit yet. And I really hope they change that in the future. If you check out the review video that I did, you can see the updated UI. It makes it much easier to see what's going on. When it's heating or cooling, there'll be like a red or an orange or a blue ring around the outside of it. So if you're wondering if like it's actively heating or cooling, you can see that it is and what it is doing. When you tap on the temperature, you can slide like you did before to adjust the temperature, or there's like little buttons like a plus and minus to increment or decrement the temperature manually without having to slide, because a lot of people hated the sliding and found it fidgety. So that's another way to control that temperature, and just the larger screen in general makes it a lot easier to control this thing. So yeah, what did you think, Steven? I assume you read or watched the review. What are your thoughts?
Yes. I mean, it looks amazing. The hardware, I love that metal band around the side. The UI looks drastically improved. I was actually having your video review play as you were talking because I wanted to see some of the UI. Side question, did you like do something new to your setup or get a new camera or something? Because your A-roll looks very good here. Huh.
Thank you. No, nothing different.
It looks good. I like that. No, it looks good. This UI, because I set up 2 Ecobees actually in the new house. One light and one of the old plus ones, and they're fine. But this UI is really, it feels modern. It feels like legit. It's a little hard to navigate sometimes, that older interface, especially someone who's not like familiar with it. And I feel like this UI is better suited for that. Just doing it. So, did you replace an old Ecobee with the new one, and how easy was that transition?
That's a very good question. Something I saw a couple people ask similarly on Twitter. So yes, I went from the previous generation smart thermostat with voice control, the previous like high-end one, to the new premium version. And it does have a new mounting plate. Like when I went from the 3 to the 4, I'm pretty sure it had like the exact same mounting plate, so I could just pop it off, pop the new one back on, and I could like sell the old one with the new mounting plate because they were identical. With these, the mounting plates have been changed, so you can't just swap them one for one. You do have to take out the mounting plate and put the new one on. So I took a picture ahead of time of where all my wires were, and I swapped it out that way. And before I did the move, I actually went through the Ecobee menus and like video or photoed all of the menus, so I knew exactly what my settings were beforehand. Right. And then I had removed the accessory from the home app first, then from my Ecobee app to kind of keep everything organized. Nothing was like still tied to my account and stuff. So I moved to the new one, connected everything as it was, and then it walked you through like that onboarding process, and I had all of my numbers and values and what I had set before as my preferences. So it just took a few minutes, but it helped that I took photos ahead of time just to make sure that I had all of my settings correct. There's not that many settings to worry about, but they did have me re-enter like my preferences on temperatures and all of that. So that was helpful. Cause I can't remember, did I want to leave my furnace running or the fan running or, stuff like that. So it was good that I had like what I liked already saved.
Okay. Well, we'll see. I'm debating whether or not I want to upgrade to this, but the other thing, so this actually has Alexa and Siri capability, which I think the Ecobee with voice control that I have was just Siri. I don't think there was Alexa built in. Is that correct?
I think it had that.
Did it have Alexa?
It's always had Amazon's assistant. I can't believe you said her name twice.
Oh, sorry. Say it 3 times.
Hopefully
she
no
shows up in the
listeners
mirror.
have it out there. Oh my gosh,
okay, so yeah, it is creepy. So you can disable
say it 3
that.
times and she'll know what you buy.
Yeah. Say it softly. It's almost like praying. That's from West Side Story. Anyway, so you can disable the Alexa part. Now, I saw on Ecobee's like comparison page, this actually has like Spotify integration. Does that mean you can like connect it to your Spotify account and stream music directly from there?
I assume so. You can do that kind of with Amazon's Assistant and stuff like that. I don't use Spotify, so I didn't test it. But it is an AirPlay speaker, so you can cast audio to this just like you could a HomePod or any third-party AirPlay speaker. So send audio and play it through there. Speaker's tiny, so it's not like amazing. It's not going to like replace HomePod Mini or anything quality-wise in terms of audio. But what I like about it is if you're listening to like a podcast or anything, I like using the multi-room audio, and it can kind of follow you through the house. So like I'm in my kitchen listening and I walk, around my house or something, I can still hear the podcast playing. So maybe it's not like the best audio quality, but it's nice that it follows you around your house, and wherever you are, you can listen to that audio. It still misses some of the bass, and it can sound a little tinny in some of the songs, but depending on what you're listening to, it's still nice to have. It can also act as that doorbell chime. So when someone rings your doorbell, you can have your HomePod rings as well as your Ecobee.
So that was my next question, because again, on this feature comparison, this is the Premium. The Premium is the only model, it says in this comparison, that has hands-free calling and intercom. Does the intercom, is that the same intercom that HomeKit uses with HomePods?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Whoa. Okay, I didn't realize that. That's pretty awesome. Because I actually use intercom all the time. It
basically acts entirely as a HomePod.
Wow. Okay, that's really cool. Now, that is not something that the Siri with the Ecobee with voice control had, is it? Is that new to this one? It had it?
I think it had it. Mm-hmm.
Where would one go to check the...
I believe you head to the Home app, right? And then in my case, I'm going to find my hallway, my giant list of rooms, and I'm going to pull up my Ecobee. And if I scroll down to the bottom, there are like 4 sections. So there's Siri, AirPlay speaker, intercom, and doorbell chime.
Oh,
there's intercom on, and I can toggle which accessories are using intercom and when I get notifications for them.
That is wonderful. Listeners and viewers, if you were wondering, that's really bright. You can barely see it, but here's my Ecobee with voice control, the old model now. It is actually able to be used for intercom as well. That is awesome. I will say I've used Siri from that Ecobee a couple times because I don't have a HomePod in that room yet, and it works really well. I mean, the Siri integration is really good. You do have to have another HomePod or Apple TV in the house for it to work, because it's not like it's
HomePod only, I think it was just HomePod.
Okay, so you can piggyback it. But anyway, this also has dual band Wi-Fi, which is cool. So you got the 5 gigahertz and 2.4. So if you need extra fast connection to your thermostat, got to change that temperature real fast, I guess. Got that.
Well, it just helps. I mean, sometimes people have issues like connecting like the 2.4 band. It's nice that it supports 5 as well. Plus, this does, I believe, have a thread radio built in. Right now, it's not active and not doing anything, but we'll see. They have the capability to update it and enable that in the future. My guess would be it could just act as a border router and maybe not like the same thing as like the HomePods, but it can like extend your Thread network and stuff like that. So that's a possibility. They also support Matter. They're one of the Matter proponents, so it'll likely be updated with the requisite Matter stuff when that happens.
Yeah. Well, this thing is awesome, and $250. I think this was the price of the Ecobee with voice control previously, so it's just taking that high-end tier, and you can buy it from Ecobee right now. It's available. I would say if you're going to get a HomeKit thermostat, Ecobee is the way to go. What do you think?
I very much agree. And now, what are the price points here, Steven? So it's like $249 and $190.
Enhanced is $190.
Version?
Yep, and light is $150.
Yeah. So personally, like if you're looking at the enhanced versus the premium, metal body, air quality monitoring, the included sensor, and the speaker, AirPlay, Siri stuff are your differences. Those are your biggest differences, I believe. The sensors are $50 a piece. Well, sure. That goes along with the whole speaker, Siri.
I don't know. I'm just saying. I like intercom.
Doorbell, chime, that whole category as a speaker.
Yeah.
All of that's included. The HomePod-esque functionality of it. But like the sensors are $50 on their own. So that's almost the entire difference if you were planning on picking up a sensor. And I think the sensors are very worth it. Some people don't care about the sensors. I like them because they also act as HomeKit motion sensors. So you can place these around your home and use these to automate other things. And they work pretty well. So for me, I like having the sensors around. $50 for a sensor, it's a 2-pack for $100. So if you're going to get a sensor, you might as well just get the premium version of a thermostat to begin with. That's
and I will say,
recommendation.
I actually went to buy more sensors for my Ecobee, and you can only get them in 2-packs. I could not find a single standalone sensor. So you're going to pay $100 if you're going to get any kind of sensor. Like, that's the minimum. And so, spending the extra $60, because if you just want one sensor, maybe your setup is you only need that one other sensor, like in your bedroom, because it's far from your thermostat. Yeah, the premium one is pretty nice. That's pretty nice. So, well, that's amazing. I'm gonna have to debate whether or not I upgrade to that or get something else. I don't know, or the Eve Outdoor Cam. It's the same price. I gotta decide which one to get. But very cool. I'll put a link to Andrew's review, great review video, also in the show notes, and links to it on Amazon and Ecobee's website. So there you go. Pretty cool. All right. You also had is this on a Pebblebee? You put something in here in the notes called Pebblebee. I don't even know what this is. What is this?
For sure. These are launched. I think they're available now for anyone who wants them. But 2 new Find My enabled trackers here.
Oh.
So the one is the Clip, which is essentially like your standard AirTag, and the other one is the Pebblebee Card, similar to the Chipolo card spot or whatever it's called, credit card style one. Both of these have a little bit of uniqueness to them, Steven. Pretty awesome. So starting with the Pebblebee Clip. So this is the guy. This is it. And you're going to notice that one has the key ring built into it. So that's what makes it different from an AirPod or an AirTag. We compare it to our AirTag here. So it's a little bit bigger, but it has this metal frame around the outside, plastic body on the front and the back. It has these 2 things on the bottom, which you can kind of see. These are LED lights, Steven. So these are actually helping you find it in the dark. So if you drop this, you can actually see it. Yeah, pretty cool. And ready? Look at this. USB-C port right there.
What?
It's rechargeable.
This is insane.
So, IPX6 water resistance as well. So this guy, it works with the Find My app. Does everything that your AirTag will do. It has the anti-stalking alerts. It has the can leverage the larger Find My community to find your stuff when you lose it. The messages for if somebody finds it inadvertently and how to get it back to you. All those kind of crazy things. So yeah, I think this is pretty tempting. They're $29. You can get a 4-pack for $100. The downside is the battery is not super long. I think I have to look at my own coverage to see what I wrote from the actual press here. I think it's like 6 months. Yeah, 6 months on a single charge. The one thing I'm going to drag them for, they include a USB-C to USB-A cable in the box.
Wow, okay.
So, look at our forward-facing card with a device with USB-C port on it. And we're going to give you a USB-A charger. Shame.
Yeah.
Beyond that.
They're probably assuming if you want USB-C, you have USB-C chargers. And other people...
It gets worse, Steven.
Oh, okay. All right. What's happening?
It gets worse.
Okay.
Before we get to what's worse, look at the card. Card right here. It looks like exactly as you'd imagine. Very thin, wallet-style card, passport, whatever you want.
To compare, this is the Chipolo.
There you go. Video folks winning out today. Not
That's
to show off. This is the new card. This also IPX6 water resistance. This has a 12-month battery, year-long battery, but it too is rechargeable. Car's rechargeable.
What? It's got a port?
I don't know how I feel about the rechargeable aspect of it. I'm torn here, Steven, so you tell me your thoughts after I show you how this works. So, Card, this is the charger. It's a magnetic proprietary charger that is also USB-A. See, this is what I think is bad, because you have to store this for a year and not lose it, and then use an old USB-A charger to go with it, and that's frustrating. But it just snaps on like that. It's not a super strong connection, but it does work. It's got pogo pins, taps, holds. This will charge. You got a year-long battery, which is it's a decent battery life. But
you got to be sitting around.
I don't know how I feel about that.
Andrew, that's so annoying, because the Hydrate Spark water bottle that I was talking about a couple weeks ago, I think it actually has the exact same charging port. It looks like the exact same charger, where it's got like the 2 pins plus the 2 magnets. And so I don't know what company conspired.
Connect it through the camera.
There's no way it's going to see that. It's too small. Hold your hand in front of it. There you go. There you go. I think that's the exact same weird charger. That's so annoying. Anyway, I will agree. Like, once I saw the charger for this thing, which there's no excuse. Like, this is a huge water bottle. Like, you could have put a USB-C port in here. Like, don't even
done something like the Ember and given it like a coaster that you can set it on, like on your desk, that you would like normally do, and it's just always topped off, ready to go.
Yeah.
But the battery's not in the bottle; it's in the cap.
Is there an option, like, to just send it back and get a recharged one? Like, what does Tile used to do? There's not. So you have to charge it.
Tile still does the replacement program. They are very good about that.
Now, what was the Chipolo? Actually, I don't remember. So the Chipolo is a replacement program, because you can't charge it.
Yeah, it's like 3 years, and you get like half off on a new one or something.
Okay. Man, I feel like I would prefer the replacement style than having to think about another weird charger, like bespoke charger for a single device in my entire house. So,
and it's USB-A.
Yeah, I'm like, man, on that. The Pebble Clip, I think, because it's USB-C and I have USB-C stuff everywhere already, like, that feels like a much more doable. Like, if I'm at my desk, I have USB-C cables. I have if it was on my keys, I would just plug it in, and you can just charge it for a while. Like, that feels pretty natural. I love that. And the fact that it's the same price as an AirTag, but has lights and USB-C, that's pretty sweet. So this, I think, is a solid competitor to AirTag. That Card thing, don't talk to me about that Card. I don't know.
The thing is, though, Steven, when I reviewed the Chipolo Card, I had a lot of people who were like, "Oh, it's not rechargeable. Pass." Like, that was like their deal breaker. So this is the world of what a rechargeable one looks like. I'm just saying. They have to be incredibly thin. You can't fit Qi wireless in this. This is still a contact point. Like, it's still basically a cable that plugs in. There's 2 metal pins that make contact, and that's what initiates the charging. It's not a Qi type charger, and you just can't do that stuff in such a thin and durable body. So this is like what your option is. So I can see this like reacting to the market of like a lot of people are like, I want a rechargeable one, but this is the reality of how that has to play out.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I like that Pebble. I think that's very compelling. The Card thing, I'd prefer the Chipolo style. But I will say, when it comes to wallet finding, I've had the MagSafe wallet, and that, I wish it had a U1 chip in it for Find My. I really do like having the Chipolo Card in my wallet, and it doesn't notify me all the time because I took my wallet off my phone. I do like the Card style Find My device for a wallet. So, and it is really nice that this Pebble thing has the key ring hole built in. You don't have to buy a $30 leather case to
Pebble
put
B.
on.
Pebble B.
Pebble B. I like that. Okay, I had not heard of Pebble before. Pebble's got some cool stuff. They also have something called a Pebble Found
Pebble
LTE.
B.
What am I saying? I'm saying Pebble
You're
B.
saying Pebble. Aren't you saying Pebble? It sounds like
Pebble
you're saying
B.
Pebble.
Oh.
I hope so.
I'm not saying B.
Wrong.
I'm forgetting the B.
Pebble.
All right, let me say enough B's to make up for it. B, 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 B. Pebble B. Pebble B.
Perfect.
It's the Pebble B. Links are in show notes. They also have a Found LTE device, which actually has GPS built in. That seems pretty wild, too, if you want to have that.
Yeah,
that's
it's crazy, man. I've never heard of this company. Like, I've seen a lot of Bluetooth trackers. This company's been around for 8 years, and they just did a whole new round of funding in like February of this year. New CEO coming on board with their previous CEO moving to their CTO to focus on like new product stuff. Then we've got these launching. So yeah, I think this is crazy. I've never heard of them, and boom, here they are with some Find My-enabled products, which are few and far between still. At least Chipotle I had heard about. For years before. They had good trackers, they were fun, and they had an ocean one that I liked that was made of recycled plastics and other, good stuff like that. But yeah, I had not heard of Pebblebee before.
Pebblebee. I like it. All right. Very cool. Well, there's some fun stuff in this show. We had some listener questions. Let's see if we can do like 30 seconds each. Okay. Alex Hall on Twitter, he was saying that he discovered something called Broadlink RM, which is an IR blaster that works with Homebridge. So basically, if you wanted to control some dumb devices like an air conditioning unit, a fan, maybe some like your TV, something in your entertainment center, and getting into HomeKit, Broadlink RM is actually an infrared blaster, IR blaster, that works with Homebridge. Not directly HomeKit, but Homebridge is pretty easy to use. So thought that was cool. Thanks for that, Alex. Very cool. John Shelton on Twitter was asking about smart vents. He has several Ecobee thermostats. We just talked about Ecobee, and he's controlling a 2-zone system, but he's having like baffle issues and it's not balanced. So he was asking about smart vents. I feel like we talked about this actually a few weeks ago, but I cannot remember the brand we mentioned. Do you remember, Andrew?
I don't remember which ones we had talked about. Because there are like a few different ones out there. Like I think one's literally called like smart vents. There's Flair.
Flair.
The one?
Yeah, Flair was the one we mentioned a few episodes ago.
Keen They're not is another one, but I don't know of any that are HomeKit right now.
Yeah, they're not HomeKit, but they are smart. So if you want to try those, we will put that link in the show notes once again, and you can check that out. Flair.co, Flair.co. Thank you, John Shelton. And this one was interesting. Brian on Twitter DM'd me. We were talking about the Nanoleaf Dodecahedron controller, which you can't get from Nanoleaf anymore. Well, he went to he lives in Brooklyn, and he got some in a local store in Brooklyn. I don't know if he lives in Brooklyn. No triangulation. But
Micro Center isn't super local, but it's in his. He had one at his local Micro Center.
Oh, it was a Micro Center store. Nice. Very cool. And he found the dodecahedron there, so that's pretty cool. And the final question, this is about an email from Jerry. He's asking, he's got a bunch of home hubs. He's trying to learn about the different cameras, smart locks. What can he do to learn more about HomeKit and the inner workings? I'll say, well, go back to episode 001 of HomeKit Insider and listen to every episode, every word, and you will learn. I mean, I'll be honest, you will learn a great deal. If you search for something specific, if you have a podcast player like Overcast or Pocket Cast, Apple Podcasts can do this, but might not pull it up as well. You can search for a topic, and in the show notes, we'll try to put what we talk about in each episode. So if you're trying to learn about something specifically, you can search the episodes. We've talked about the HomeDevices app, which tells you about the different devices and the categories that are available to you. But, I don't know. You have any recommendations for Jerry, Andrew, if he wants to learn more?
No, I wish I had, like, a more specific, answer. But, like, a lot, that's so much time, right? We're now over 100 episodes to go and back listen to. But I know at different points in time, we've talked about how to, prioritize a certain hub, unplug all but the one you want to be your primary hub, plug the rest back in. Now it's your primary hub. But yeah, a lot of these are little topics that we've touched on over the 100-some episodes. So I might have to search through and see what you find. But that's probably it doesn't sound like a fast or easy way. So I guess just keep turning through those back episodes, Jerry, and keep listening going forward.
Yeah, and if you have specific questions about a device or something, tweet at us. Use the contact form again. You can email us. All our contact stuff is in the episode description. Tweeting at us might be the best, a DM or an app mention, and we save those tweets for the show notes. So, yeah, do that. We'd love to know what you're working on or what you'd like to know more about for anybody. If you have questions, you got your home projects going on, let us know. We'd like to know what you got. Did you get the new Ecobee thermostat or the new Eve outdoor camera? Tweet at us. And, of course, you can watch this show on YouTube, youtube.com/HomeKit Insider. We showed lots of stuff on the video this week, so you can check that out. Of course, I do that custom chapter art as well, and if you're listening in your podcast player, you can look at that there. And if you haven't yet, go ahead and leave us a 5-star rating and review on Apple Podcasts. We'll give you a shout-out on the next show. Thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you next time.